Everything is working now. Oh, killer, guys. Absolute killer. That's two PSOs in a row. You piece of... Hey guys, welcome to Mark the Point. Just like many of y'all do, I'm also looking through the YouTubes and looking through the internets to find the newest strategies or the newest rollouts that people are doing. In this case, I didn't have to look very far. John from ProCraps and Jacob from Wager Me This do a variation of this video. Essentially what they're doing is they're going to go 204 across. What that's going to look like, it's going to be green chips all the way across, okay? But on the inside, basically everything pays 50 for one. So again, the 4 and 10, that'll pay 50 for one. The 5 and 9, that's a $35 bet. That'll pay 50 for one. And the same thing for the 6 and 8. This is a $42 bet. It'll pay 50 for one. Now, what they do is they do 4 hits, and then they kind of play with the excess. I'm going to change it up, kind of mark the point it up a little bit, and I'm going to variate. I'm only going to go 3 hits across because a lot of times 4 hits is a lot. It's hard to get 4 hits on a craps table. So I'm going to go 3 hits, and then I'm going to regress that down to 160 across. They typically go a little bit lower and go to play with excess. I'm going to go at 160 across. So I'm going from 204 to 160, and then I'm going to continue to press and collect from there. Let me show you what that's going to look like. Let's call it the 6 hits. That's going to be a 50 for one. Let's call it the 5. That's going to be a 50 for one. And let's do the variation of 4. Let's say it's a perfect scenario where you have a 50 for one on 3 hits. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to bring everything back down to 160 across. Okay, what that's going to look like is 160 across. Now, let's count this up and see how much we pulled back. You have 150, that's 75, that's 85, 90, $194. So you have $194 when you regress. And again, that's on a perfect distribution of 50 for one. That means you're only $10 invested into $160 across. That's a pretty good chance of getting basically out the hand in 3 rolls, and you got a great bet to grind. Now, from here, you have so many different options. So essentially, any of these bets now, let's just call it the 5. That $25 bet would pay $35. Now, what options can you do? You can collect the $25, and you could put that $10 on the 5. That way, it'll come 50 for one. You could split the 5 and 9 and make it bet this way. Any way you want to press, I do suggest at this point in time, pressing a little bit, make sure you're collecting, but press as well. That way you really start hammering it because you're totally in casino profit at that point in time. Okay, so what options do you have? Let's see what other options you have. You also could go to a come bet to make come bet. Other options that you have is you could take that $10 or that 35 that you made. You can collect that 10 and put the 25 in the don't come and become dark side. That way, whenever it hits, you have a bet, a payment. Let's say that paid 35. And now you have a don't come. So you're playing a little bit of light side to dark side. So many different options. I may do a little bit of those variations. The idea to begin with is to 204 across, regress down to 160, and then from there, I'm just going to play out different scenarios of what you can do once you get into that profit mode. Let's roll this out. I am starting off with a $1,500 bankroll, which is a pretty good bit. Most people don't buy in for that much. However, I want to show you what opportunity that you have if you do this type system. All right, here we go. Let's get some dice in the middle of the table. Let's pick out a couple that we want to use. Let's pick these 2 here and pass these over to the dealer. And I typically do that when you are the shooter. I'm not being the shooter right now. I'm acting as if I'm not the shooter. That is a Yo 11. That would be a pass line winner. Again, we are not playing the shooter, but here we go. There is a 4-1-5. Okay, so that's going to be your point. Let's mark it up. Now, you're going to drop them $204. So what that's going to look like is you have 100, 200. You can go ahead and do it straight up, 204. Okay, and they're going to set that up for you. All right, so what they're going to do is they're going to go exactly all green chips all the way across. It'll be $35 bets on the 5 and 9, and then it'll be a $42 bet on the 6 and 8. So it's all set up, ready to roll, and let's play it out. Again, looking for 3 hits. That's what we're looking for. There's our 5. That's our point. That's great. So that's a $35 bet. That $35 bet pays $50, and you'll give them. It pays $49. You're going to give them 50 for one. Okay, so that's hit number 1. Let's go ahead and turn off the bet. I'm going to put it right here just for now, so you can see how much profit we end up whenever we get 3 hits. Here we go. And that's going to be the square pair. That's a hard 8. All right, here we go, shooter. Let's turn it the right way. All right, here we go. Oh, we got here. That's a 3 craps 3. That's really no help to me. And there's an 8. That's right back on the point. That doesn't really help us out much because we're knocking off some of our points. However, that's also going to pay, that's a $42 bet. It pays $49, or in this case, 50 for one. Okay, we're going to turn the puck off. That's now $100 that we've recouped. So we're halfway out of our investment already. All right, let's go. And our next point is going to be on the 4. That's an easy 4. All right, let's mark it up. All right, here we go, shooter. Again, looking for one more hit. Can we get one more hit? We are. That's going to be a 5, 4, 9. All right. So the 9's going to pay, that's $35. It's going to pay us, again, another 50 for 1. Okay, now we're going to pull everything back to a 160 level. Again, I'm going to show you what that looks like. You have, let's keep our green, our red chips, our caps. Again, let's go back one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 150. That's 175, 185, 194. Okay, so you're right now, you're only $10 invested into this hand. Okay, let's go ahead and put all that back into our rack and square it up. So you know you at least have one shooter or your next shooter recouped. So you're basically ready to roll. All right, let's keep rolling. Here we go. And that's our 7 out. Okay, that's about as organic as it comes. We did the regression, however, it did not work all the way. So let's pull all this back. And let's get another point established. That's okay. In this case, we only lost $10 because we regressed and couped all that back. All right, let's get another point established. All right, that's going to be a frontline winner. That's another 617. And that's a 3, crap 3. Let's take that line away. Come on, shooters, get a point. There we go. That's going to be a 5, 4, 9. Let's mark it up. All right, again, we're going to drop another $204. And I'll show you what that's going to look like. Again, that'll look like 1 green chips all the way across. It'll show $50 on the 5 and 9, or $35 on the 5 and 9, and it'll be $42 on the 6 and 8. Boom, just like that, and everything pays 50 for 1. All right, let's go, shooter. And that's gonna be a 5. That's a 3, 2, 5. All right, again, that's 4. That'll pay $49, or in this case, we don't have $1. Let's go ahead and call it 49 straight up. So that's 25, 35, 45, 49. So let's go ahead and pay it as is, so we can get some ones back in our rack. All right, there we go. Let's get another one. That's hit number 1. And that's a 9. That's back on our point. That's a 6, 3, 9. Let's go and call it 50 for 1. So pull this back. Again, that stays off. That turns off. And this can go right back into our rack. All right, let's go. That's going to be on the 6. That's an easy 6. That's our point. Let's mark it up. All right, shooter, let's go. That's going to be back on the 6 yet again, another point. I'm glad we're not playing a dark side. So I typically don't like the dark side. I feel like I always knock off my points. In this case, that would have been the 3rd point that we would have knocked off. That's a $42 bet. That's going to pay us 50 for 1. Okay, again, now the next step of this, which is going to pull everything back. Now, last time we did this, we hit big red the next hit after. Hopefully, we don't do that this time. And we actually get a little momentum where we start getting to some good profit. That is our point. Let's make sure we turn it off. All right, let's get another one established. Here we go. That's going to be back on the 6, another inside point. Let's mark it up. All right, now, again, I want to try to show you some variations of what we can do here. Okay, perfect. There's a square pair. That's a hard 8. So that's a $30 bet. That's going to pay us $35. So, again, we talk about options. What opportunity can you make to make the best of it? Well, you could do this. Let's do this for the first time. Let's split that 5 and 9, and let's put that 25 back into our rack. What are we going to do? Maybe next time we might go a little dark side on the next shooter. Oh, that didn't help us out. Back on the 7. The big red shows up again. We was only able to benefit 1 roll out of that. That's okay. Again, out of the hand. That's the goal here, to get out of the hand and to get back into money back into your rack. It didn't snipe us too bad because we're regressing everything back. All right, here we go. Let's get another one established. And that's going to be on the 8. That is a 6, 2, 8. All right, let's mark it up. And again, we're going to drop down another $204. Here we go. That's 200. And that'll be 4, just like that. Now, again, if you haven't already, the channel has been growing. We are almost at 2,000 subscribers. Please go ahead, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. The channel has been going great. I appreciate the support and that everybody's giving me in the comments and the feedback. Y'all are great. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and follow along with the content. All right, that's going to be a 5, 3, 8. That's back yet again. We've hit our point. Okay, that's a $42 bet. That $42 bet is going to pay 50 for 1. I'm going to do that now, 50 for 1. And let's turn off the point, put that to the rack. That's hit number 1. And let's get another point established. That's a 1, 2, 3, a craps 3. No help to me. And there's a 5. Okay, so the point's going to be on the 5. Let's mark the point. Okay, here we go. So now we hit 1 time, wherever it was. We've hit 1. We're looking for 2 more hits. There's a 4. Okay, we haven't had a 4 yet. That $25 can pay 50 for 1. Okay, we don't have $1, so let's go ahead. Let's make some change for a 5. Give you 5 ones. And we'll keep 1 of them and put 4 back into the rack. Let's straighten this thing up a little bit. Perfect. All right, that's hit number 2. Looking for 1 more. There's a 9. We hit our 3rd hit. Again, I don't like the 4-hit system that they play because I think 4 is too vulnerable. This 2 hit, I think, is just right for me because I'm pulling money back after the 3rd hit where I'm less vulnerable at the big red. I'm pulling all this back into my rack. All right, here we go. So I'm doing a good collection here. I got a lot of reds so far, which is great. But let's turn them reds into blacks. How about that? Okay, now here we are. We're set up. That's our third hit. We've regressed back down. Let's do a little bit different time this side. Now, this time when we get a hit, let's go to the come and let's place comes that way again. Different options that you have. I'm not typically a come bet player, but you want to give the options that you have. That's a 2 craps 2. And there's a 6. Okay, that's a 5, 1, 6. That's a $30 bet. That's going to pay us $35. Let's collect the $10. Okay, that got us out of the hand now. Now we are perfectly at 204 in our rack after that shooter, okay? Because remember, we're $10 short, but we just hit that. Let's take this right here and go right into the come, all right? Here we go. All right, it's going to be on the 8. Let me show you how this works, okay? So the come bet would travel to the 8, okay? So we'll go right here. That's going to pay $35. Again, you have a couple different options. What are you going to do? We can go back to the come bet, rack our $10. You can also put odds on this if you'd like to put odds. And let's go ahead and pull this bet down, okay? Because we got a come bet working for us. We got this going for us. Put some money into the rack. You have different options there. Here we go, and that is a 7. Okay, let me show you how that's going to work. Okay, we will lose all these bets. Let's pull all this back. We will pay our come bet, because remember, that's just like a pass line. It'll pay it for 7, so that can go back into your rack, but everything else comes back. That's okay. We fared out pretty good on that shooter. All right, let's turn the point off, and let's get it rolling. Here we go. That's going to be a boxcars 12, a 12 craps 12. And that's a 9. All right, so to mark the point, it's going to be on the 9. Here we go. All right, drop another 204. 204. Okay. Set it up. Ooh, there we go. I think that's right now. All right. And then again, we're going to set up everything else. You got $35 bets on the 5 and 9, and then $42 bets on the 6 and 8. Everything pays 50 for 1. And we're ready to roll. Here we go. Looking for 3 hits. 204 and 3 hits. And that is where you're most vulnerable right here, guys. We just rolled a 7, a PSO. This is where it's going to snipe you. I'm going to lose all this. I'm going to turn the puck off. I'm going to go ahead and drop 204. That way I can go ahead and don't have to reset it all back up. That's 200. We'll call it 205 and give you $1 back and put all this back into the rack. So we're square. Again, all of our bets are going to be off. So we're not going to be working while the puck is off. So everything is off. And let's get another point established. All right, it's going to be on the 5. That's a 3, 2, 5. Okay, let's mark it up. Now we're ready to roll. We got a point. We got to roll our bets out there. Everything is working now. Oh, what's it going to roll to? 2. That's 2 in a row. Oh, that's a killer, guys. Absolute killer. Okay, so here we go. That's going to pay us. Oh, not going to pay us. We're going to lose 204 again. So it's called 205 for $1. So I'm going back out there. I'm paying it back out. And let's do it again. Let's turn the point off. That's 2 PSOs in a row. You piece of... Oh, gracious. There's a 7. I tell you what, let's do this. I got a couple more dice here. Let's shake these things up a little bit. Let's get something different. How about that one right here? Let's call these 2 here, and let's get some new dice. Come on, shooter. All right, that's gonna be a 5. 3, 2, 5. And let's hope for the best here. All right, we're looking for a good roll here. All right, that's gonna be back on the 5. That's a point. Okay, it's gonna pay us 50 for 1. 50 for 1. All right, we're going to pull it back, put it back into the rack. That's hit number 1. That is our point. Let's turn it off. And that's going to be on the 8. So the point is going to be on the 8. Let's mark it up. All right, let's go, shooter. Looking for 2 more hits. That's a 10. That's down there on the end. That's our first 10 that we've hit. It's going to pay us 50 for 1. Okay. All right, there we go. Perfect. Pull this way. Go that way with it. All right, there we go. That's hit number 2. Looking for 1 more. And there's our 5. That's beautiful. That's our third hit. Okay, get another 50 for 1. All right, now again, we're going to regress everything back down to 160 across. So all this is going to go back into our rack. All right, there we go. See if we can straighten these up a little bit. I'm going to need some reds here in a minute. All right, but we're ready to roll. That was our point, so let's turn it off. Let's get another one established. That was a little short roll. That's okay. That's going to be a 3, 1, 4. All right, here we go, shooter. That's going to be aces. Those are the dots in both places. And there's a 7. Oh, dang. That's 3 times in a row we've gotten sniped on this thing. 3 times, and you feel like you have a good system. You feel like you got a good strategy, and it always seems to bite you, right? Let's do 204 again. 204. All right, all of our bets are off. We're turning our puck off. Come on, shooter. Let's do something a little bit better here. All right, it's gonna be back on the 4. Another short roll. All right, back on the 4. All right, all of our bets are working. 204 across. Looking for 3 hits, shooter. All right, there's an 8. That's gonna be a. I'm almost butt critching every time I roll now because I don't want a big red to come out. What are we at here? That is not right. I should have been a little bit better here. I only had $25 bets here. Those actually should, I think I may have did that last time. I apologize if I did, but those should actually be $35 bets, not $25 bets. So I never pulled them up from the last time. I may have shorthanded myself a little bit. I apologize. I make mistakes. But that is going to be an 8. That's going to pay us 50 for 1. All right. Let's go and put that back into the rack. Here we go. All right. It's going to be back on the 8. That's a 5-3-8. Again, another 50 for 1. That's hit number 2. Again, that payment is actually a $42 bet that pays $49. That's easier just to call it 50 for 1 because it's just an easy exchange. That's hit number 2. We're looking for one more hit. Those are the aces, the snake eyes, the dots in both places. And there's big red. We cannot get away from ourselves. This is kind of brutal. I do apologize. I don't know what's happening to me. I'm losing out on everything right now. And I also just noticed that I didn't have $42 here as well. So I've definitely messed up some of the bankroll. I'm going to try to go back and fix that. I apologize. However, even still, we're going to call it 204 cross and give you $1 back. And I'm going to try to straighten that up. Either way, we're going to make sure we're going to go with the bets right this time. So we're going to go, again, quarters all the way across. It's going to be $35 bets on the 5 and 9. And it'll be $42 bets on the 6 and 8. I should have caught that, and I didn't. Again, when I get talking, I get where I'm not paying attention as much and trying to show you. And let's turn the puck off. Here we go. All right, it's going to be a 3. Yes, aces. Oh, sorry, 3 craps, 3. All right, it's going to be on the 8 this time. All right, let's mark it up. All right, here we go, shooter. And that's going to be back on the square pair. How about that? All right, it's a $42 bet. Pays us 50 for 1. All right, let's put it back into the rack. Here we go. That is our point off. So let's mark it off. It's going to be on the 4 this time. All right, mark a point. And it's going to be back on the 4. How about that? That's another hit. That's going to pay us 50 for 1. That's hit number 2. Looking for one more to get out of this hand. We haven't heard that in a while. Look at that. Let's turn the puck off. Here we go. That was our point. All right, it's going to be back on the 4. That's 3 4s in a row. How about that? All right, it's back on the 4, and we're ready to roll. Here we go, shooter. That's a 9. That is our 3rd hit. We finally got our 3rd hit. Okay, so here we go. Pull this back. That's a 50 for 1. And now we're going to pull everything back down to base level. When I call base, we're talking about a 160 across. Okay, so pull all this back. All right, come on, shooter. We're ready to roll. Let's see if we can do a little bit of light side to dark side this time because we haven't been getting a whole lot of long rolls. So sometimes it's best to do that, to go to the dark side. That's going to be a 5. That's going to be a 3-2-5. So it pays us $35. So that's a $25 bet, pays us $35. Let's rack the 10. Okay, let's collect the quarter. That was our place bet. And let's move this to the don't come. How about that? That's going to be a 6. That's going to be a 5-1-6. Okay, that'll pay us, again, another $35. Let's grab some red chips. Pay us $35. You can go and, so this travels. This travels to the don't come. You can actually go ahead and collect this part of it and then just take this here to the don't come and put that in the bracket. All right, here we go. There's a 5. How about that? Here we go. So this is going to travel to the 5. And you could have left that place bet up for that second hit if you wanted to, or you can go and collect it. So it's up to you. I did pull it down this time. If you wanted to keep that place bet up of one more hit until the next one rolls, you had that opportunity as well. All right, here we go. There, and there's your 7. Okay, so that worked a little bit because, again, we went to the dark side. So we do lose these, right? So we're going to lose these, but we're going to pay even odds for our come bets, or for our don't pass bets, excuse me. All right. And this is all going to come back to the rack. All right, there we go. It looks like we're treading water. You know, we're not doing great, but we're treading water. We'll take it. All right, let's go, shooter. Again, the idea here is not to make a ton of money on the video. That's not the purpose. The purpose is to show you opportunity that you have, right? What opportunity do you have to make money when you have a good roll or when you have a short roll? What are you going to do? How are you going to react to the table when it gives it to you? All right, that's going to be on the 6. All right, here we go. So let's go 220 inside. Or sorry, not 220 inside. It's going to be 204 across. So that's going to be green chips, just like that. And of course, it's going to be $35 on the 5 and 9. And it's going to be, and I need some more red chips already. How about that? So I tell you what, let's grab this 100 right here, and let's put 100 back into the rack, and let's call it again $42 on the 6 and 8. And I need one more chip. Perfect. Actually, I didn't. It was there. All right, there we go. All right, we're ready to roll, guys. Let's get three hits right here. 3 fast hits. That's going to be a 1, 2, 3, craps 3. That's going to be a 7 out. That was a fast hit. Unfortunately, it was not what we wanted. I tell you what, the video has gone long enough. I hope you've enjoyed some of this. Let's count it up. Again, the idea here is not to find out how much money we made because this is a very short sample size. But just to kind of give you the opportunity of what we do and what different systems that you can roll at the table. Okay, to create opportunity. Let's see what we got here. We know that's 100. Let's go ahead and give it the 100 to black chip, and I think we're one short there. So that's 100. Let's go ahead and give it a black chip. So what do we have here? We started with $1,500. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are definitely down 9, 1,000. So again, not the best idea of a great system. However, it is what it is, right? Because you don't win money all the time. 8, that's 1,000, 25, 35, $38. So we did lose about $400 in this. Again, it happens. Think of how many PSOs that just happened. We at least saw 4 PSOs, especially the 2 right there at the very end. We're just basically, the idea is to try to get 3 hits and done. That's why I don't like 4 hits. 4 hits is almost too much for me. In this case, if you only get 1 hit and down, or if you get a PSO, it's not going to help you out anyways. All right, guys, please let me know in the comments. What did you think about it? How did you feel about the system? Is this something that you could play or see yourself playing? Hopefully your results are a little bit different in the positive. We may roll this out again and see how we do. All right, guys, until next time, mark the point and stay awesome.